Lesson 1.4, Permutations. What is a permutation? A permutation is a particular order of R objects from a pool of N objects. Each permutation can be represented as a list. For instance, 9 fast food restaurants must be ranked best to worst. How many ways permutations exist? In this situation, we just take the factorial of the number of objects, so 9 factorial, or 362,880. Now consider this modification. The top 3 out of 9 fast food restaurants must be ranked best to worst. How many ways permutations exist? Well, for the number 1 spot, there will be 9 options. For the next one, there's now 8, and then 7. So the total will be 9 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 7. You may notice that this is not a complete factorial. However, there is no need to worry. We can still use factorial notation to represent this problem. If we expand out the 9 factorial on the top, we can see what needs to be cancelled out. In fact, what needs to be cancelled out is a 6 factorial. Therefore, we can write the total as 9 factorial over 6 factorial. Notice that 6 factorial is 9 subtract 3 factorial, which is n subtract r factorial. Recall, n is the number of objects available to pick, and r is the number of objects we are picking. This leads us to the permutation formula. The number of permutations for n objects, when we're picking r of them, is n factorial over n minus r factorial. An important side note, if r is equal to n, that is, the number of objects being picked is equal to the number of objects there are, our permutation formula will look as follows. P at nn equals n factorial over n minus n factorial. N minus n, of course, is 0. Thus, in the denominator, we have 0 factorial. And as discussed previously, 0 factorial is 1. And it is so for this very reason, such that p at nn reduces down to n factorial, which is what we have seen in previous examples. Alright, let's try an example. 5 employees must be selected for 5 different positions. The company has a total of 20 employees. How many ways can this be done? We can use our permutation formula. P at nr is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. In this case, n is 20 and r is 5. So we have 20 factorial over 20 minus 5 factorial. And this gives us 1,860,480. Exercise. A new flag must be created with 3 vertical stripes. Each must be a unique color. There are 15 colors that can be used. How many possible flags could be created?